Good morning, class 12. Welcome back. Today is Monday, and as per your new schedule, you have English paper 2 or English literature to continue. Hope you all are safe and fine at home and continuing revising the taught lessons and also preparing uh, the chapters by your own. And today's happy news is that we are going to bring an end of our one textbook, the Tempest, written by William Shakespeare, which we started in our last session. So we are going to see today the last portion of the play The Tempest, Act 5, Scene 1, to bring an end of our play. So after I explain the last part of it, I'll be sending you the character notes and also the extract notes of the incomplete acts that we have to write. So do copy them in your exercise note that you were using in the last session. If you have the pages, do continue there. Just leave one page and write there class 12. And then do copy all the notes. So when you do copy these notes, at the same time we'll be seeing the next book from our next English 2 class. We'll be making use of prose, well, where we'll see the remaining stories, and then we'll see the remaining portion of our poetry. So that is what we are going to do. So let us happily see the last part of the play The Tempest, Act 5, Scene 1. So here we go. So before we see the remaining portion, where we are left with just 2 more pages, as I guess. So let us recapitulate what we had discussed in our last class. So in the last class we saw the entrance of bosun and the shipmaster. They are brought in to the scene by Ariel on the order of his master Prospero. And you notice when bosun and the shipmaster arrived there, they were stunned to see what they perhaps had never thought before. They saw their king, King Alonso, and King Alonso's team back to life. And equally, you saw King Alonso was also surprised on seeing the bosun and the ship captain or the ship master. Here, King Alonso asked bosun how they have reached there. Bosun replies saying that they were soundly asleep, so they in fact did not know how did they arrive there, but they were awakened by the different noises, and when they got awakened, uh, they saw their ship completely equipped with uh, sails, ropes, as if the ship is going to make its first voyage from country Naples to Tunis, Africa. Here you saw uh, Prospero telling King Alonso that uh, he should not uh, be so surprised to see all these incidents taking places when on time, and when they are alone. Prospero says to King Alonso that he will be narrating, explaining all the past events, right? And till then, he should be casual, right? He should be cheerful, he told. And Prospero also reminded King Alonso that some of the members in his team are still missing, right? and within no time you saw Ariel returns, bringing in Caliban and his associates. His associates are Stefano and Trinculo. So when Stefano, Trinculo and Caliban did appear, Stefano says here that every man should take care of the rest. Let no man take care only about himself, right? And then he sees uh, Caliban perhaps uh, frightened on some reasons. So he then tells Caliban to be courageous. O boastful creature, have courage, he said. Trinculo on the other side says, if his eyes are true and are present on his head, he says here that he has seen a very goodly sight. Right? Caliban at once remembers his mother's god, who is Sedgox. Right? And he says here that these are all brave spirits whom he had never seen before. Right? And tells you that looking at Prospero, that his master Prospero looks very nice, because he had never seen his master Prospero in the dukely attire, right? He is um, in the look of a duke. Prospero is in the look of a duke, and then he at the same time remembers that his master Prospero will chastise him. That means his master Prospero will punish him for being the mistake in serving his master. And on the other side, Sebastian and Antonio entered into conversation. Sebastian says, laughing, haha, these things are very, very surprising things. And what do I see? I see, okay, one particular creature uh, uh, be bought by money, right? Antonio also here tells that, yes, he seems to be marketable. He is a very, very strange fish like, right? He can be bought and sold, right? He also said. Now what happens from here? We have to continue, and just 2 more pages to go, and that will bring an end of our textbook, the Tempest, written by William Shakespeare. So let's see. Now it is Prospero who says, see, Prospero says to the king, King Alonso, mark but the badges of these men, my lords. So he says, right, notice, but the badges means dresses. He shows to 3 of them, Caliban, Stefano and Trinculo, who are wearing the dresses which they have stolen a few minutes ago, right? Then Prospero says, see these creatures who are dressed in such dresses, my lords. Then say if they be true, and then you tell me if they are honest creatures. Prospero says to King Alonso and the rest, right? Look at their dresses, and then tell me if these creatures are honest creatures. If they are not thieves, then you tell me, right? This mishappened me, and he points particularly to his servant Caliban. He says, this mishappened me, that means this deformed creature, deformed shaped creature, who is Caliban. His mother was a witch. His mother, Sycorax, was a witch. Right? Prospero narrated in short, telling about Caliban. This deformed shaped creature, whose name is Caliban, and his mother's name is Sycorax, who was a witch, and one so strong that could control the moon. And his mother Sycorax was so strong, a witch, who could even control the moon. Right? Make flows and ebbs, that means make flows the winds, make flows the running water, and then, right, make appear the tides. Ebbs means make appear the tides, huge tidal waves in the sea on her commands, and deal in her command, and dealing, that means and exercise her command on such things without her power. So how powerful was Sycorax? Here Prospero tells, right? So her son is this deformed shape Caliban, right? These 3 have robbed me. So these 3 creatures have robbed me, right? He says. And this demi-devil refers to half-devil, who is Caliban yet. And this demi-devil, for he is a bastard one. And he says, this demi-devil, meaning Caliban, is a bastard one, right? Though there is the address of his mother, but no address of his father. His father perhaps was a devil, So he's called bastard, right? Had plotted with them, so had planned with them. With them refers to Stefano and Trinculo, to take my life. So these three creatures have robbed me. They plan to take my life. They plan to murder me, right? They plan to kill me, right? So look at the foresight knowledge of Prospero's magical power. He could even sense, he could even know that these three creatures are on the way to kill me, right? He now tells this to King Alonso and the team, right? Two of these fellows you must know and own. So two of these fellows, meaning Stefano and Trinculo, are yours, O King. King Alonso, they are your men, right? You must know them. You must be knowing. This thing of darkness, I acknowledge mine. And this thing of darkness, meaning Caliban, who is very pessimist in his nature, right? He is dark, right, in his nature, right? I acknowledge mine. So I accept, I admit that this one is mine, right? So Prospero introduced uh, Caliban and the other two to the king and the rest, right? So he told that Stefano and Trinculo are your men, they are yours, right? They were in your team, and this particular one, who is a demi, right, devil, who is a half devil, half human, half devil, right, and is dark, meaning pessimist in his nature, right? I admit that this creature is mine. Here Prospero said. Caliban then says, I shall be pinched to death. Now, Prospero, here Caliban well knows then what would be the end of his doing. He now says, I shall be pinched to death. That means now I will be punished. Prospero will, uh, uh, I mean, apply his spirits to punish me as normally they are done to me, right? So I shall be pinched to death, and I'll be pinched so much that it would uh, be more or less for me to die. Such are the pains, he says. Right? So Caliban already understood here that now he's going to receive the punishment from his master, Prospero. King Alonso says, is not this Stefano, my drunken butler? Now King Alonso came closer to Stefano and had a look on his face and recognized. He says, is this not Stefano, my drunken butler? He says. Then Sebastian says, he is drunk now. Where had you wine? But Sebastian says, he is drunk even now. He is a drunken butler, right? He used to drink. But on this island even you see, he is drunk now. He said, where had you wine? Now the surprise is, where did he get the wine? That he is drunk now, right? Then King Alonso says, and Trinculo is reeling right. Meaning, and Trinculo is also heavily drunk. Reeling right means he is drunk enough, more than necessary. He is reeling right, meaning he is heavily drunk. He said, where should they find this grand liquor that had gilded them? So where, now the question is, from where have they got this liquor, this grand liquor, right, that had gilded them? That means that has made their faces turn red, that have flushed their faces. So where they could have find this drink that have made their faces completely turn red, right? Here, King Alonso question. It's a big surprise for them to know that where could they find this drink, right? From where have they got this wine to drink, and they are drunk now, right? So how came thou in this pickle? And then King Alonso questioned Stefano and Trinculo. How camest thou in this pickle? Pickle means mess, right? Which means here liquid, that wine. He asks, okay, how came thou in this mess? How did you come in this mess? He asks. Then Trinculo replies, I have been in such a pickle. That means I have been in this foul lake, right? Now Trinculo remembers where he was dropped in, right? Do you remember in the scene? Ariel had, by his magic, pushed them into the pond that was filled with horse piss, right? So Trinculo says, I have been in such foul lake. I saw you last that I fear me will never out of my bones. And he says, I saw you last that I fear will never out of my bones. That means I'll never leave bones. Such was the condition where I was in, right? I was thinking here that I'll not become alive from that foul lake, right? Such was the condition where we were in. I shall not fear fly flowing, right? Now he says, I shall not fear fly flowing, because They were put into such a dirty water in the sense horse piece, where they could not come out. Right here, Trinculo presented in what condition were they? Right. Then Sebastian says, why? Why means well. How now, Stefano? Now Sebastian asks, well, Stefano, how are you? He asked. Stefano says, right, oh, touch me not. Perhaps here Stefano was wanting to have a handshake with him, or touch his body and comfort him. So he asked, Stefano, how are you? Then Stefano says, oh, please don't touch me. Right? I'm not Stefano, but a cram. At this present juncture, right, I'm not Stefano, but a cram. That means I'm a person, right, filled with pain on my body. From head to toe, I am suffering with pains. So please don't touch me. If you touch me, I'll have, right, deeper pain. So he says that he is not Stefano right now. Right? He is a person with full of pain, he says. No. Then Prospero says, Stefano, you would be king of this isle, Sira. Then Prospero asks Stefano, oh, you want to be the king of this island, oh fellow? Sira means fellow. Oh fellow, you wanted to be the king of this island? He asks. Then Stefano said, I should have been a sole one then. Now he says, yes, if I had become the king of this island, I would be known as the king with full of pains on my body, he says. Right? Then King Alonso says, indicating Caliban, he shows to Caliban and asked, this is a strange thing as ever I looked on. Right? So far King Alonso was looking at Caliban and was feeling so strange, right? Because Caliban did not look like a human, right? He smells like rotten fish. He looks like a puppy-headed, as we know, right? So King Alonso asks, indicating Caliban, this is a strange thing as ever I have looked on. So I have never seen such a creature in my life. This is the first time, okay, I have never seen such. He asked, he said. Then Prospero says, he is as disproportioned in his manners as in his shape. Now Prospero defines Caliban. He says, Caliban is as disproportionate. He looks very, very ugly in the look, right? He has no proportionate built-up body like a normal human being, right? And the way how he looks, so is his manner, right? He says, clear? That means his moral conduct is also the same as how he looks. He looks dirty, he looks ugly, so is his nature, so is his conduct, so is his character, so is his manner, behavior. Everything is here proportionate to his looks. And then says, go, Sira. Then Prospero shows the anger on Caliban and says, go, you fellow, right, to my cell, to my cave inside. Take with you your companion, and take with you your companions. Your companions are Stefano and Trinculo. Take these both with you. As you look to my pardon, trim it handsomely. And he says, and if you want to have my forgiveness, if I want to forgive you of your punishment, right, trim it handsomely. That means make tidy the room inside. Right? You have to tidy the room inside. Give the things arrange properly. So he tells, right, Prospero tells Caliban to do this. If he wants not to be punished, he should obey him. So you go inside the cave, take your companion also with you, Stefano and Trinculo also with you, and inside the cave, tidy everything. This is your punishment. Right? Here Prospero said. Caliban says, hey, that means yes, that I will. I'll definitely do. I'll surely do. And I will be wise hereafter, and I promise that I'll be a good person from hence, from hereafter, he says. No. And seek for grace, and I would ask for your forgiveness and favor. Right? Here, Caliban readily redeems himself to correct what mistake he had in his life so far. So he says, yeah, surely I'll do it, whatever work that you have assigned to me, right? And I also promise that I'll change myself to a good human being thereafter, right? And I'll seek your forgiveness, I'll ask for your forgiveness and favor, he says. What a thrice double ash was I to take this drunkard for a god. And now here Caliban realizes the mistake. So he says, what a thrice double ass. That means, what a 6-time donkey was I to take this drunkard a god. Who is this drunkard? Stefano. Right? I was a 6-time, right, donkey-headed, right, to take Stefano a god, he says. No, and worship this dull fool, and I simply worshipped this dull fool, He is a foolish person, as I know now, right? He says. Then Prospero says, go to away. Then Prospero says, now you go, right? Take your companions also with you, right? Now, and do what I said, right? Prospero ordered Caliban to take leave now. King Alonso says, hence, and bestow your luggage where you found it. And King Alonso also added, he told, hence, means go away to Caliban and his right associates, right? Go away and bestow your luggage. Bestow means put back, and put back the luggage. What is the luggage? The stolen cloths, which they have made into bundle and carried, right? You put back the cloths from where you have found it, from where you have got. Before entering the cave and tidying the room, first of all, take this luggage, take this bundle of cloth back to the place from where you have found. Put it back, he says. No, Sebastian then looks at Caliban and the other two and then starts teasing, says, or stole it rather, and he says, rather than keeping it right back to the place, right, you would steal it, right? Yet Sebastian added the teals, right, to these three, right? Exeunt, Caliban, Stefano, and Trinculo. So the three of them follow the orders of their masters, right, and then carry on. Now Prospero says to King Alonso, Sir, O Lord, I invite your highness and your train. So I invite your holy highness and your train. Train means your followers, your teammates, right? So I invite you, your holy highness, and your members to my poor cell, to my poor cave inside, where you shall take your rest for this one night, where you are going to pass the night, right here itself. Which part of it I'll waste with such discourse as I not doubt shall make it, right? And in this due course of time, staying one night here in my cave, right, which part of it I'll waste with such discourse. Discourse means talk, conversation, as I not doubt shall make it, as I not doubt shall pass it, right? Here make it means pass it, as the time will pass by, right? Go quick away. So he says right now, as the time will go quickly by, as the time will run swift, right? So the whole night we are here staying in my cave, right? Because the next day too we have it, right? So tonight we are going to put up ourselves into my cave. So the night will go by when I'll when I'll narrate the incident of my past life, right? He says that will let the time pass by. The story of my life. So I'll explain you the story of my life, right? Since the time I was thrown from my dukedom of Milan, thence till today, right? I'll try to narrate this story to you. And the particular accident gone by, and the particular accident means, and the particular events that went by, right? Since I came to this island, since the time I arrived to this island. So I'll want to narrate this, right, in this night, right? And in the morning, and in the next day morning, I'll bring you to your ship. So I'll take you to the ship, right, from Tunis, where you have started your voyage, and so to Naples, and then, right, you can proceed to Naples, your country, your home country. You can go to your country, where I have hoped to see the nuptial, where I am hoped to see the nuptial. Nuptial is the marriage ceremony, right, of these our dear beloved solemnities of our dear son and daughter, right, where they will be performed, right? Solemnize means the marriage ceremony will be performed, right? So which means that Prospero is also wishing to go with them, right, to Naples, and there the marriage ceremony, the marriage will take place of Ferdinand's and Miranda's, right? And then retire me to my Milan, and from there, that means from there I'll come back to my home country, Milan, after the marriage gets over, where every thought shall be my grave, and every thought will be my death. Thereafter, if I die, I have no problem, right? I have no complaint about my life, because, right, that would be the happy ending of my life, to see my daughter being married to the Prince of Naples, Prince Ferdinand, right? That would be my last wish to see, right? And then if I die, it makes no worry to me, right? Here Prospero told King Alonso. Then King Alonso says, I long to hear the story of your life. I long means I have a strong desire, right? I have a strong desire to hear the story of your life. Here King Alonso said to Prospero, which must take the ear strangely. so which will invite me to listen more and more of the happenings of the story in your life. Here King Alonso told Prospero. That means King Alonso is also very eagerly waiting to hear the story of Prospero's life, he says. Then Prospero says, I'll tell you it all. That means I'll tell everything of this story. I'll tell everything. I'll tell all the parts of my life. And promise you calm seas, and then I promise the next day will be a calm sea, right? The sea will be silent, the sea will be smooth. Once again, you will not have that tempest, right? Or that storm arising in the sea, right? Auspicious gale. I'll also promise you to have favorable winds. Auspicious gale means favorable winds that will, right, push you to reach to your home country. And sail so expeditious that shall catch your royal split far away, and the ship will sail so smoothly and so fast that it will catch all those fleet of ship that have already taken leave to reach to their home country, right? So you remember when the king's ship met with an accident, there was a shipwreck. The remaining boats, the ship, right, that have come with King Alonso from Naples to Tunis and back to Naples, they saw the king's ship wrecked, right, and they thought that the king and the team, everyone in the ship, are drowned, are dead, right? So they had taken leave to their home country, right? Now here Prospero says they are still on the way, right? So we'll catch them. The ship of yours will catch them, and together you will all go to your home country. My Ariel, and he looks at his favorite spirit Ariel, and he says, my dear Ariel, right? My chick means my very uh, lovely bird, my very dear bird, right? That is thy charge. You have to make an arrangement of all this, right? So he gives the last charge to his favorite spirit Ariel, right? That he should take care of all this, making the ship ready, right? Making the winds favorable, let there be no tides, right? And the sea will be calm, right? This is all your charge. You have to take care of this, make arrangement for all this, right? Prospero gave perhaps the last order to his favorite spirit, Ariel. Then to the elements, be free and fare thou well. And then to the elements, like all others, you also be free, right? So Prospero here fulfills the promise that he has promised to his favorite spirit Ariel. So you do this last work, make an arrangement of the ship where the king shall sail to his home country safe and fine, right? After that you be free. So goodbye to you, he said, right? Thou well means, right? Fare thee well means goodbye to you, right? Here Prospero said to Ariel, please you draw near, right? And then Ariel takes the, right, with his last order to do, and then Prospero says to the king, please you draw near. That means, O king, please come inside the cell now. Please come inside the cave now. And the scene exeunt, right? And we see the king and the team headed by Prospero. They all enter inside the cave, right? So this brings the end of the play, right? The Tempest, right? So there is a happy ending. We saw the reconciliation, right? How here the Prospero has taken the revenge on his enemies, right? Instead of being very harsh with them, he has forgiven all the wrongdoings of his enemies, and then took revenge, right? So it's a very sweet revenge that he has taken. This is a lesson where we have to learn, right? We saw Prospero took sweet revenge on his enemies, and this is what every man must do, right? Every time, like murdering, killing is not the solution, right? We need to happily reconcile what wrongs have been done, right? And this is the only sweet way to take revenge on one's enemy. So this brings an end of a play, and when the play gets over, now Prospero, the curtain is closed. Prospero stands out, right, and now addresses to the audience. Now, here, when the character speaks to the audience, which is not connected to the play, what was happening, it is completely, entirely, right, the person not as a character of the play, he is an individual being. Now he speaks the speech to the audience. This speech is called epilogue. Now epilogue is the end of the speech, right? At the end of the play. Just like we have the prologue, prologue is the beginning, right? Now we have the epilogue, the end of the speech, right? Of the character of or the individual, right? At the end of the play. Now what does Prospero say? Yeah, Prospero says, see, now my charms are all overthrown. That means now my magic is all surrendered. My magic is all now given up. My magic is renounced. Now I have no application of magic in me. I am a normal human being, he said. And what strength I have is my own, and whatever strength I have now with me, whatever strength I possess with me now is all my own, is a normal being, not the effect of magic, right? Which is most spent, that means which is very slight as a normal being is, right? So whatever power I have is of the normal man's power, right? Now I don't have any magic in me. My magic I have already surrendered. My magic I have already renounced, given up, right? Now it is true, I must be here confined by you. Now it is true that I want I must be here confined by you, right? So now it is very true that you all want me to stay here in this island where I have been living for 12 years, right? Now you will detain me, right? You will confine me here. You will detain me here. You will want me to stay here. You will not want me to go away from here, right? Or sent to Naples. Okay, let me not, since I have my dukedom got, now let me not stay here because my job is done, my work is over here, right? Because I have got my dukedom back. My dukedom is Milan. My country Milan is given back to me, which I had lost 12 years ago, right? Now I have got it back, so I need to go, right? And pardon the deceiver, and I have also forgiven the wrongdoers, right? Pardon the deceiver means I have forgiven the wrongdoers, King Alonso and the rest. I have forgiven them, right? Dwell in this bare island by your spell, who are all living in this island, right, by your magic. So he remains, he is perhaps talking to the audience, being very thankful that they have taken the patience to watch this drama, right? So dwell in this bare island by your spell, right, by your magic, but release me from my bands. But I want you to release me. I want you to set me free from my bonds, right? Bands means bonds, right? With the help of your good hands, with the help of your good clappings. Good hand means now you give me the farewell with your clappings, right? Because whatever job is, it is already done. Now I want to go back because I have forgiven the wrongdoers. I have also got my dukedom back. I have also got my country Milan back. Now I need to go back, right? So I want the clappings to be given at the end. He says, gentle breath of yours, myself, and I want your kind words. Gentle breath means kind words. I want your kind words to be spoken to me when I do sail back to my home country. Must fill, or else my project fails, right? So it must fill in me, or else my plan will fail. So if you do not support me, right, as I do go back to my home country, right, my plan will not be successful. It will fail, he says. Which was to please, which was to make happy, right? Every one of you. Now I want spirits to enforce. Now I want means now I lack the spirits to enforce me, right? Art to enchant, and my ending is despair unless I be relieved by prayer. So I want every one of your participation where you need to pray for me, right? Where I should go back to my home country happily with your kind words, with your prayers, and with your blessings, right? Here Prospero says, unless I be relieved by prayers, which pierces so that it absolves mercy itself, and at the same time with your prayers, what is important, right? God's blessing is also important. Here mercy meaning God. God should also bless me, where I should, right, safely, happily go back to my home country, and freeze all faults and take away all my mistakes in everybody's life, not only in me, but every one of us who are here, right? As you from crimes would pardon me, and as that you would forgive from all the mistakes that one has done, right? In a similar way, you also forgive me, right? let your indulgence set me free. So let your indulgence means let your kind words set me free now, right? So give me the kind words, give me the blessings, right? So that I can reach to my home country safe and fine, right? And saying this, he exit from there. Now this is the end of our play, The Tempest, written by William Shakespeare. So this long play we started in the last session. Today we have brought an end. Hope you have liked it, enjoyed it, and understood. Right now it is in your part to revise them, right, time to time, and read and understand, and to remember the explanations what is given to you, right? So with this we have brought an end of our play, The Tempest. Now you'll be passed on the character notes. Few of the character notes are pending, right? So they will be passed on to you. You'll be copying them, and also the extract notes of the the unfinished okay portion what we have today finished. So those will be given to you, right? So please copy them in your exercise note, and make your copy ready, right? So with this, right, we have brought an end of our play, The Tempest. Thank you so much.